Do you ever just find yourself complaining about the most idiotic, dumb things? I had a situation at work today that I knew this situation was coming. I was fully expectant that a somewhat annoying slash frustrating event was going to happen. So I knew this was coming, um, and I wasn't necessarily dreading it or, kind of like just like, oh my God, this thing's about to happen. But I knew it was coming, and it turned out to be a little bit more annoying, a little bit more frustrating than I was expecting. And so, as this situation was occurring, I found myself not just complaining internally, but I was also complaining outwardly to my wife. I was texting her my frustrations. And after I texted her that, I texted her again and said, you know, I'm just complaining. I'm just bitching this morning. I'm just feeling frustrated about this situation. And kind of that awareness of the ridiculousness of what was happening. Like, yeah, on a human level, on a purely physical level, this situation was annoying. But when I was kind of seeing it from the point of view of awareness, and I saw the situation, and I saw not just the situation itself, but also my reaction to it, it's almost comical. It's almost humorous. You see just how absurd it is. And you see just how absurd it is that you're getting so worked up and upset about something, regardless of how big or small it is. I was thinking of it almost like in Home Alone when Joe Pesci's character gets his head lit on fire and he slips down some stairs or whatever, and he's like, he's just kind of swearing under his breath. It was that same kind of energy, of just like frustration and just, you know, and when you kind of get into this whole idea of presence and beingness and really residing there as much as you can throughout your life, you start to see life's situations, and not just the situations, but also your reactions to those situations. You see them from a really humorous point of view. You see how hilarious the character can be, It's like sometimes things happen, major life events, really tragic things, and you see people react and you really just have a deep empathy and compassion for them, and you really understand why they reacted that way. And, it takes a really, really high elevated being to react to those situations with equanimity and peace, right? Not everyone can do that, and it takes a really long time of living in this to be able to do that. I don't know that I would, but there are beings who can react to those situations with a lot of calmness. But it's these little, small, little frustrating things in life that, even for a totally unawakened person, they may even have enough awareness to realize that their reactions to that are just so unneeded and silly. But when you really take that step back and see it as it is, and you see your internal and mental reactions to things, you just realize how silly you are and how silly everything is. It's like just such a small little thing that's not a big deal at all, and you get so worked up about it like it's the end of the world, or like somebody did something horrendous to you, or like it's just this horrible big thing. And you know, you get over it quickly and you move on with your life, but you kind of look back on those few moments of whatever's going on and you're like, why did I react that way, or why did I feel that way? And you just see how silly it all is. And I think in a sense, everything that happens to us in our lives can be viewed that way in a way, because we're constantly having situations in life that are presenting challenges and tough things for us to get through, and maybe not even tough, but just minorly inconvenient. But from the point of view of presence and awareness, it just is all whatever's happening, and you don't have to necessarily be freaked out or frustrated or upset by it. So, I think we're not all victims. We can be if we want to be, but we don't have to be. You can be the powerful character if you want to be. I think about it in the sense of like, I hear a lot of teachers, non dual teachers, or just this whole general space, people saying things like, you need to be courageous or vulnerable, right? And sometimes those words can kind of ring hollow a little bit. But I think the thing is that the whole concept of being a peaceful warrior, right, is this ability to embrace life's situations and circumstances with open arms, an open mind, an open heart, to not be closed to things. If you're a peaceful person who is going through a situation peacefully, that can often require more strength from you than it would for you to just react knee jerk to whatever it is. Because that's the easiest thing in the world to do, right? To just react knee jerk, just instantaneously, that reaction that comes instinctually to the character. To just do that requires no strength at all. It's just totally a natural thing to happen. But if you exercise your strength to say that you're going to embrace this life situation with courage, and to not, just react without thinking, but to really put your thought into whatever it is, that takes courage and that takes strength. So that whole concept of being a peaceful warrior, it's a real thing. A traditional warrior requires strength to battle, an outside enemy or an outside opponent. But the peaceful warrior, the uh, loving warrior, whatever you want to call this whole idea, is to go against the grain of just reacting to things, but actually exercising your strength to embrace even the most uncomfortable circumstances, and to say that I can handle this. This is simply an arising within myself, and I don't need to get so freaked out by it. So I appreciate you taking the time to listen to this, and I'm sure you can relate to a lot of situations in your life, but if you would be so kind as to check out my other videos and leave comments, likes, all that fun stuff that people always say, subscribe, and I'm still hoping to get some feedback on what people think of my whole setup here, because I do want to convey my message in a way that can actually help people. So if I'm not doing that, I would like to know that. So, yeah, thank you for watching this, and have a wonderful day.